Up this title fight real quick, Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman. Man, this is another instant classic, just like their first fight. This one went to decision. It was really close, man. I thought the last 3 rounds, Colby won. Second, could have been a 10-8. First round for Usman for sure. Second round for Usman for sure. Third round was kind of swing round. Fifth round was a little bit of a swing round. I thought Colby won the 5th round. But, man, I don't know. You can't be mad about the decision. Obviously, if you watch the channel, I picked Colby Covington. I did have a bet on Colby Covington and came up just short. He hurt him a lot of times, man. He was wobbling him. I really wish he would have followed up, man, but he kind of played it a little bit safe, in my opinion. But Kamaru Usman, too. That guy in the second round, he almost had him out of there, man. Colby was really close to getting knocked out. He landed a huge shot in the 5th, too. If you saw, Colby's eyes kind of flashed a little bit. But for everyone that, hates on Colby, they don't like him at all, you gotta give him some credit, man. The motherfucker brings the show. Whether you like the shit talk that he gives or not, that could be up for debate, obviously. But, he always backs it up, man. He's always there at the end, and he shows up, and he gives you guys a fight. This wasn't the George Masvidal. This wasn't Gilbert Burns where they weathered out and Kamaru was able to take him out. This was a showdown. These were the 2 best guys out there. And Kamaru Usman got his hand raised. He won the decision, so congrats to him. He retains his title, and he retains his stance most likely as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. What's next for him? It's a little bit interesting. I don't really, they got the Leon Edwards versus George Masvidal fight coming up. Leon Edwards, it seems like he's kind of been rebuffed from a title shot for a long time. People have been not really wanting to fight him, and he just recently got that big fight with Nate Diaz where he was looking really good, and then at the end he got kind of tagged, got lamented for that. But I feel like if he beats George Masvidal, it's really, really hard to deny him that rematch with Kamaru Usman, even though, in my opinion, don't necessarily know if that fight would be ultra competitive, honestly, as competitive as a Colby fight. And I don't really think it brings the same appeal. Obviously, Leon doesn't really talk trash like that. I don't think he has a huge fan base. I feel like this Colby fight, it felt massive, man. I don't know what you guys felt, but this Colby versus Kamaru Usman fight, it felt like a massive fight. It felt like it was a real, like, big pay-per-view. I don't know in terms of numbers what it's going to sell on pay-per-view, but there's a lot of people talking about it, and I felt as if, it almost surpassed the Canelo versus Plant fight tonight. And I really feel like it delivered, too, man. Canelo was able to take out Caleb Plant. That was actually a competitive fight, so props to them, too. But I felt like UFC 268 stole the night. there were so many amazing fights as well, but talking about this fight with these 2 guys, like I said, with Kamaru Usman, the other guy that could be there, that's the wild card guy that I feel like is the more named person that I think the UFC might throw him in there. I really do. I think there's honestly a chance that, let's say if George Masvidal beats Leon Edwards, I think there's a huge chance of it. But even if Leon Edwards wins, and let's say it's not really that fun of a fight between him and Masvidal, I could easily see the UFC throwing Chimaev in there against Kamaru Usman. I just could see them doing it, especially if Nate Diaz doesn't want to take that fight with Chimaev, which I don't blame him. And yeah, I feel like that could be another kind of wild card fight. What do you guys think about that? Like a Kamaru Usman versus Chimaev fight, or Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards? Which one kind of entices you more? Because ultimately, I feel like the Chimaev fight definitely does way bigger business. But with Leon Edwards, we got the more deserving guy by a long shot. When you look at Chimaev and just the resume that he's built, it doesn't touch Leon Edwards whatsoever. But the more interesting person, I believe, what's next for them is Colby Covington, because this was a huge spot for him. It was a second chance to get the belt. Came up just short. I feel like, he's right there in the mix with clearly being the best welterweight in the world, or if not the best, he could make the claim for being, or if not the second best, he's definitely in the top 5. There's other guys in there. I would love to see Colby match up, just purely matchup-wise, with a guy like Gilbert Burns. I think it would be a great matchup if Colby fought someone like Masvidal as well. So I feel like those could be really interesting fights. I know Chimaev, I just talked about him with Usman, but him and Colby Covington were going back and forth in the media, and that could be another interesting fight. The build-up would be incredible for that one. But Colby, he definitely is going to come back. I feel like he's the younger guy in terms of him and Usman. And he could still touch the belt, man. Usman's talked a lot about retirement recently. He talked about fighting Canelo Alvarez, and he seems like he's kind of looking not for a way out, but maybe like he's not going to be in the sport for a long time going forward. So if Colby can get matched up against someone else for the belt, who knows? But all I know is that was an instant classic. What do you guys think about that fight, and who do you think is next for both of these guys? Do you think that Colby Covington proved that he's one of the best welterweights of all time, or do you think Kamaru Usman kind of just didn't have a good performance, or did you think the fight wasn't as close as I'm saying? What did you think about that fight? What do you think about the card in general? I mean, I feel like this is the best pay-per-view of the year, man. The main event delivered, the co-main event, it was just a hell of a show, man. So UFC 268, best pay-per-view of the year, in my opinion. Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman. They're up there for, you know, the best rivalries of all time, man. I mean, the 2 title fights that they've given us, the build-ups, just amazing. So, really awesome show from the UFC. And, yeah, that's kind of what I got. I think Colby Covington ultimately is probably going to fight the loser of that Leon Edwards versus Masvidal fight. And Kamaru's going to fight the winner of that fight. And the kind of wild card there is Khamzat Chimaev. But that's kind of what I think. And, man, amazing fight. Who do you guys think won? And what did you think about the fight? But, yeah, guys, I'm out.